online learning can be really effective and fun, providing things are set up right in the first place. I'm going to run through a few examples here that we used at IOBA JIS. Everything went really well, even for students who were offshore because they were in different countries and had to go home for COVID.
Really, it's a pretty difficult time, and working together to solve issues should make it more fun. And also, although this is in ManageBack, this is sitting in here so you can go through it. Now, this is a folder. I'm just showing you this because this is a team that hasn't started working yet. But then they've got to go through and follow the instructions and work as a team, put their things in their team tracker, and do that. You're all at different stages, just so you can get an idea. If you go into, I know, let's see, when I had a look at the Flipper Flappers, were very organized. They've been a team. So they've got their team tracker and they've got it up to date. Hopefully, let's have a look. So you can see, too many things open, okay? So they've already graded themselves. The one thing they haven't done is they haven't talked about if there were leaders yet. So that's from next time onwards. Maybe they'll assign some roles. But they're thinking about what they're doing. They've made some copies of these questions. They've made different documents. So that means that if Atharva's away, Lula can go in and do work. Everybody's got access to all these documents, and they can begin to work on it. So that's kind of what we're aiming, that virtually you've got a great team going, and virtually, however you choose to do it, you will have a presentation task. Now, the presentation on how you share all that information, the same as every other term, it is your choice, okay? And here we go. Mr. Lowe has turned up. Can you see his face down the bottom, guys? If you want to put your camera on and wave to him, hopefully you can see on this.
Okay, team, you're going really, really well. Good to see you there.
Yeah. So it might be easier because we're such a huge class now. Now we've given the outline. Yeah, that you guys jump into your teams and yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, if I let you know, we've got double lessons, so we're right on time at 9:30. I didn't want to chat for more than 10 minutes. If you phone up your teams, get into your teams, begin your discussion, and me and Mr. Lowe will pop around the teams and we'll have a chat to you and see how you're going, okay? If you please use the links on the top of your team trackers, which is what I was going to show you here. It's the same link from the groups you made. I just put them there so that it might be easier for you. You guys made Hangout groups, but if you go up to the top of your team tracker, all I did was access the link so that myself or Mr. Lowe could jump into that. So if you guys were in that group, I could push that button and then that would join me up to your conversation. But currently I'm the first one there, okay? Good luck. I'll talk to you all a bit later.
Hi. So we were quite lucky in our transition to online learning at Alba because we are a school where the kids have well-equipped technology at home. So all the students have a laptop, a MacBook, and most families, of course, have Wi-Fi at home. So that was not a limitation for us during this transition. And of course, the kids, the teachers as well, we all started out panicking because we weren't used to this kind of style. Um, and so we were all really anxious, stressed out. We didn't know what's going on. But I think that it didn't take long before we became comfortable in what we were doing. Teachers became more confident. Students were able to follow us without any major, issues really. And I think another factor that made it easier in this transition was the fact that a lot of our teaching is through team-based learning. So the kids, for example, in my classes in science and math class, the kids are always put into groups. So a lot of the assignments they submit is done through group teamwork. And so this made it a whole lot easier for the kids because they now have people to rely on. They can ask questions to their teammates. And that pressure of, oh, I have to do this by myself wasn't there. So the skills that were really key in this transition were communication, organizational skills, and time management. So kids who already had those skills before starting on this online learning, they didn't have any struggles. They found a smooth sail throughout. But those who did not have those skills to begin with, they struggled thereafter. However, throughout midway through this journey, I think even those who did struggle found a way to become better at organizing their schoolwork, organizing their time to complete tasks, and communicating with their teammates. And I think that was in part their effort, and the teachers were able to support them. We also involved parents, so parental involvement was really key to this because no matter what, I think the kids are going to be at home all the time, and it makes a huge difference whether there's parents there to support them or not, because there's really so much that teachers can do and reach out. If the parents are not there to support, it's much more difficult for the kids to really progress. And so I found that actually it went really well. We've been doing online teaching for 3 months now, coming towards the end of the term. And I can see a lot of the kids have matured, have grown, have picked up on new skills, and they're more confident as learners. And definitely having the team-based routines helped. So things like keeping a team tracker where roles are divided among the team members, and the reporter writes down, okay, what's the agenda for today? At the end of the day, they would fill out, okay, what did we achieve as a team? And they would give themselves a grade. And this really helped the teams to organize their time, to submit things, and do their best, really, as learners. Another thing I noticed was the presentation skills. So in a classroom environment, there are, a mix of good presenters and not very good presenters. Those kids are really shy. They tend not to have eye contact, for example, when they're presenting. They tend to speak with a very low voice. Nobody can hear what they're saying. But I found that those things were less noticeable once we started doing presentations online. So we use Google Meets. We meet as a class, and the students screen share whatever product they want to screen share, presentations, Google Slides. And I found that those students who used to be really shy somehow became more confident and didn't face that kind of stage fright anymore when they were presenting online. And I also noticed that the audience became better listeners. So in a classroom environment, you're sitting at the back of the class listening to the speaker. There's always going to be some kind of distraction, and it's not guaranteed that they're really going to be listening. However, in this kind of online presentation style, I found that most students are actually really focused and can pick up on small details of the presentations. And I know this because at the end of the presentations, the students were able to come up with better questions, really good questions from what they were listening to. So yeah, that was an interesting find for me. So overall, I would say the transition was quite good, and I'm very happy with how our school system is set up and our style of teaching and the support from the parents and even the kids for being engaged throughout this journey. So I'm going to talk a little bit about PE class. I teach PE class to grade 6. The best thing about this in this online learning environment was that I was able to collaborate with 2 other teachers. So we were a group of 3 teachers, and the collaboration really helped because we help each other out in our weaknesses. What we did with our PE classes is that once a week we would have a collaborative session between grade 6, 7, and 8. So we would put the students into houses. So we had a house system of maroon, gold, and blue team. And we would involve the kids in some kind of fun, competitive activities, once a week. And really the key was just to keep that team spirit high and also to teach the values of things like leadership, empathy, respect. We appointed grade 8s to be the captains for the houses, and they learned a lot from the experience, from the reflections that we heard the students talk about yesterday. Things like, we really enjoyed the experience because even though it was really hard to control the younger kids, we learned what it means to be a leader. So things like that. We had a lot of good reflections from the kids themselves, saying they really enjoyed the experience. So besides the collaborative sessions, we do our own grade 6 PE classes where they're still divided into houses. But this time, the houses organize a workout session for the whole class. So they take turns, and they can decide the theme for the week, for example, Pilates or kickboxing or yoga. And they would design the warm-up, the main workout, and the cool-down, and we meet as usual on Google Meets. We turn our cameras on, and the leaders lead the session, and we have a great workout session. So this has really helped to keep it engaging for the kids because they're teaching each other instead of the teacher being the one leading the session. The limitation was that, all the activities we had to do, or all the activities we could do, was limited to indoors. So I had no right to say, please go find a park outside or go to the playground, because the parents would, not be happy with that. So I had to make sure it was something they could do indoor. The other limitation is there's a lot more distractions when you're in the house. You could have your bed right next to you. You could be wearing your pajamas. You could have food lying around, and, a lot of distractions that exist at home. So that was one of the limitations that we faced teaching PE class in an online environment where the kids are basically in their bedrooms, However, overall, I would say that the kids really tried their best. They put in their efforts. And even they themselves knew that those were distractions. They really reflected and realized that, yes, this is going to be a problem, so I'm going to do something different so that I can have better focus. And overall, it went quite well for 3 months. So I would say, although there are limitations, it does work in an online environment, although I would not know whether it's sustainable over the long term. So my hope is that at some point we are able to go back on campus so that the kids can, get more practice in the social aspect, because sports is all about socializing, how you interact with each other, and teamwork in a face-to-face kind of environment. All right, thank you.